I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Natalie Jackson and Attorney Stephen Hart. We have the honor of representing the family of James Lowery. His mother is present with us today. She came in for this day because from day one, when they shot and killed her son, shooting him in the back of the head, she said they were wrong. She said that they were unjustified and that she and her family would not stop fighting until they got justice. Now, Attorney Jackson and I, when we got involved with this case, and Attorney Kevin, it was clear to us that a shot to the back of the head, nothing else needs to be said. That is unjustified. That is unjustified. You can't justify shooting a man in the back of the head as he's running away from you. You are no threat running away from an officer. And then Attorney Jackson and LaWanda, they further, through their investigations, talking to witnesses, came to the conclusion that James Lowery wasn't even the person who 911 was called on. They shot the wrong black man. I guess they tried to say he matched the description. And for those reasons, Miss Linda Lowery Johnson, baby, is no longer with her today. It was around Christmas time, the day after Christmas, December 26th, and I hearken your attention to know that they had that video day one, but yet Ms. Johnson and the family, nor our attorneys, we still haven't seen the video. They had that video day one, but it took almost 6 months for them to finally bring charges against this officer. We have been told by many civil rights leaders here in Brevard County that this may be the first time, or certainly one of the first times, that a police officer has been charged for killing a black person in Brevard County. So we acknowledge that as being an important step towards getting justice for James Lowery. We acknowledge the district attorney for doing his job and saying that it's going to be about equal justice, that the police officer isn't going to be above the law just because he has a gun and a badge. But most importantly, we understand and acknowledge this is just a first step. What we want is a conviction. That would be the history. We acknowledge that this is a great day because Ms. Johnson kept the faith that she was going to get justice for her son, her only son, James Lowery, who did not deserve to be shot in the back of the head by the very people who swore to protect and serve him. And so you're going to hear from Ms. Johnson in just a moment, but before that, you're going to hear from my great co-counsel, Attorney Natalie Jackson, who is just a civil rights stalwart. We've been fighting since Trayvon, and we fought so many cases on the front line that she is a leader who always answers the bell for people who don't have a voice. People in marginalized communities can always count on Natalie Jackson, this great civil rights lawyer, to go fight for them. And she fought for Ms. Johnson and her family even before I could get there. They were fighting on the front line. And so we want to say thank you to Attorney Natalie Jackson. You're going to hear from her right now.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Attorney Jackson.
Thank you. Thank you. I've talked to the family. One of the questions that I've gotten most was when we found out that this officer was arrested, what did the family do? And I will tell you, they had tears. That was it. It's tears, because now they know that something happened to their child, but they don't exactly know what happened to Mr. Lowery, their family member, Mr. Lowery. They don't exactly know what. So once again, we thank the state attorney for bringing these charges, but the family still needs to know exactly what happened. So we are waiting for the meeting. I did get a call from State Attorney Archer, and he did say that he would be meeting with the family soon. So we're anxiously awaiting that meeting so that the family can see what happened. They can review the evidence. They can know what has happened. That's one of the things that we've called for from the beginning, is just transparency. You have a family who is left with questions for 6 months of what happened. And the only thing that they know is what was put out in the media. I remember one of the things that was put out in the media was that there was a struggle between the police officer and Mr. Lowery.
Lie.
That has been proven false. So it's not fair to defame these victims in the media without showing the full transparency and all the evidence. So we await Mr. Phil Archer. We thank him for bringing these charges, and we await his call and the release of the evidence to this family.
Thank you, Attorney Jackson. And Attorney Jackson makes a very important point. They always try to assassinate the character of the person of color after they assassinated his body. And that's exactly what they did to Miss Linda Lowery Johnson's son. They tried to say, oh, he was involved in a domestic battery on a woman. That's why we killed him. Wasn't that the first story we heard? And then they came and say, oh, well, he struggled with the police. That was the second story we heard. And then finally, we had to uncover the truth ourselves about it being a shot to the back of the head. And so we said it before, we need to see the video, because you all have a right to see the video. Ms. Johnson absolutely has a right to see the video. So we don't want to have to talk too much more. We want to see the video, because it's important for transparency that we know the full truth. We know if the police department intentionally tried to deceive this family and the public. We need to know that, because it only sets a precedent in Brevard County that they are going to be a standard bearer for equal justice from this day forward. We don't want to have to say, you know, it's one of the first times in history that the police are being held accountable for doing something bad to a black person. We want it to be that every time something happens, everybody in Brevard County can expect equal justice. That is our goal. Equal justice. Equal justice. Equal justice. Equal justice for James Lowery.
Equal justice for James Lowery.
Equal justice.
And so you're going to hear from his mother. Obviously, she's going to speak from the heart the best she can, and then we'll take some of your questions. We give you the real hero here, Miss Linda Lowery Johnson, who would not give up until she got justice.
I'm Linda Johnson. Hi. How y'all doing today? I'm Linda Lowery Johnson. My son name is James G. Lowery. Like attorney said, that I want equal justice for my son, and like today, this is the first time we heard something from the police department about the accident happened between my son, and I would like for the officer to get criminal charge for the damage he did.
Yes.
With justice for my family.
Yeah. And we want a conviction. We know this is the first step, Ms. Johnson, but we want a conviction. Amen?
Yeah.
So we'll take your questions if we can.
One quick question. The officer is out on bond. He pled not guilty, waived his first appearance. Your reaction to the fact that the man who shot and killed your son is now out on bond, awaiting the next procedures?
Well, okay. The one thing I think is this, Gail. We want to make sure that he has every constitutional promise that every other American citizen get. You're innocent until proven guilty. But we know if the roles were reversed and it was her son accused of shooting somebody in the back of the head, he wouldn't be out on bond. And so we gotta deal with these double standards. We can't have two justice systems in America, one for white America and another for black America. So we are looking into that wholeheartedly, saying we don't want you to give him special consideration just because he's a police officer. He committed a crime shooting a man who's running away from him in the back of the head. He should be facing the same standards that would apply to any other citizen. Okay? Yes, ma'am?
I'd like to know from Ms. Johnson, just what the last several months have been like for you. I understand you don't even live here in Brevard anymore.
No, I moved away since that happened.
She moved away since they killed her son.
What was the last thing that you remember about your son? The last time you talked with him, I know it was around the Christmas holidays. What can you share with us?
It was around his birthday, his 40th birthday. He turned 40 years old on December the 22nd. And he the day before Christmas, we share his birthday and Christmas with him. But I didn't get to see him till no more after that.
Last day she saw her son alive was on Christmas Day, and they celebrated his birthday and Christmas together. He had just turned 40 years old. Any last questions? Because the Liquid Sunshine is celebrating with us this historic day. Justice for James Lowery.
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 We will get a conviction. We will get a conviction.